Singapore's $37 billion RIE 2030 drive forces executives to bridge quantum readiness gaps as hardware breakthroughs prove immediate commercial disruption. Julian Tan of IBM Quantum and Professor Jose Ignacio Latorre of National University of Singapore joins us to discuss this quantum disruption. Welcome, Julian and Professor J.I. Let's begin with some background for our viewers. What is driving the readiness gap among companies despite heavy investment?
The readiness gap is related to two issues. The very first is the availability of quantum computers, and this is progressing very, very fast. And the second is how we use these quantum computers. And again, this is on the theory side, not on the experimental side. And this is, again, moving very, very fast. So this gap is shrinking at the speed that it was not foreseen. Many people doubted that this would happen so fast.
Well, thank you for having me. I think we need to understand that quantum computers are fundamentally very different from classical computers as we know it. Talent is going to be a very crucial persistent constraint, right, in the years to come. And it will intensify as quantum technologies continue to mature and progress very quickly as well. The IBM Quantum Readiness Index that we published in 2025 found that 90% of quantum-ready enterprises, right, are already reporting inadequate skills as a key challenge. And McKinsey also has been reporting that over half of all quantum jobs today goes unfulfilled. From skilling experimentations to productions, expertise requires expertise across the stack, architectural, algorithm designs, integrations, engineering, and domain science. And leading organizations needs to prioritize internal upskilling, academic collaborations, and STEM skills recruitment to be quantum-ready organizations in the years to come, which is the reason why IBM has built the IBM Quantum Network since 2016. And by bringing academics, research labs, industry startups together, we are connecting them to a global quantum ecosystem.
So let's say in terms of priority, what are the immediate cybersecurity risks, particularly around harvest now, decrypt later threats?
This is the main issue at the moment. To give a little bit of context, we use techniques to guarantee the security in our communications, which are based on theorems. And the protocol RSA was produced in 1970. Our cybersecurity is based on the fact that it's very easy to multiply two big numbers and very difficult to factor. That we use this mathematical fact to use a protocol for encryption and then decryption only on the place where you want to have the information. In 1994, Peter Shor, a mathematician, produced an algorithm that if we could handle quantum logic, we could break these protocols. If we produce a quantum computer, we already have the algorithm. We know how to do it. And this is the race. Whoever has a quantum computer will be able to break the communications of the rest of the planet. Now, that produced the famous harvest now and decrypt later idea. So many organizations may be harvesting communications that want to decrypt such that the secrets are long-term secrets, and then they will simply decrypt them if they have a quantum computer. So this idea produces a very clear mandate. You have to stop to use the classical cryptography if you want to be safe against the attack of a quantum computer. So it is no longer valid to use RSA technology. We have to go to post-quantum cryptography.
First of all, we need to acknowledge that we use cryptography in all aspects of our daily lives, right? From internet banking to social media to infrastructures like the energy grid, the planes that we take, the trains that we take, satellites in space, right? CCTVs all around us, so forth. So a symmetrical cryptography are premised on the fact that classical computers take billions or millions of years to factorize really large numbers back to its prime numbers. And algorithms called Shor's algorithms running on quantum hardware could perhaps bring this down to hours if not minutes. So the harvest now and decrypt later risk is really a new attack vector where even though cryptographically relevant quantum computers are not yet here today, adversaries can already start collecting this information, right? They are encrypted, so they can't read it today with the intention of decrypting it in the future. So any data that has a long shelf life, for example, like government secrets, intellectual properties, financial records, personal health information for healthcare, for example, are prime targets. At IBM, we have already developed a number of quantum-safe cryptography algorithms with our partners, and this has been fully FIPS certified and adopted by NIS as post-quantum cryptography since August of 2024. So these cryptographies are essentially resistant to both classical and quantum attacks.
To address this, what's your main recommendation on how companies should begin developing a practical hybrid quantum strategy?
Yeah, there are two levels. One is what should be done. And this is in a good position because there are many institutions, in particular the NSA in the US, made a competition organized by NIST, the National Institute for Standards and Technology, a number of recommendations have been produced for the community. So we know how to substitute the classical algorithms by new algorithms. The second level is how to implement them. And this is the difficult part because you need a lot of expertise, a lot. It's not a trivial thing to go and to repair the cryptography in a company. In particular, because in many cases it's obsolete. It is vulnerable not only for quantum attacks, but also for AI attacks. So companies have to address this issue as a holistic problem. They cannot simply patch with a new software a piece of their communication. They have to go through the inventory, they check all the gates, all the devices they have to check all the operating systems they are handling, and then see in each situation how to repair that.
I think my recommendation is start with the principle that quantum computers are not standalone systems, but a specialized compute node within a broader architecture that we are already familiar with, which is the CPU and GPU side of the house. In IBM, we call this quantum-centric supercomputing, right? And in March last year, we actually published a reference architecture. We lays out a roadmap to integrate quantum processors with classical high-performance computing resources, such as the CPUs and GPUs. So in this hybrid model, right, workloads are orchestrated across different competing resources, allowing specific problems to be solved, right, on the right platform. The ultimate goal is to integrate quantum capabilities into existing workflow. The path to developing a practical hybrid quantum strategy is an iterative journey at the end of the day, right? Don't try to boil the ocean at the first instant. Try to prove value for a smaller subset of the entire problem and then keep expanding from there. At IBM, we have a target to prove quantum advantage in 2026. What this means is that quantum computers will have the ability to solve a specific problems faster, better, and more efficiently than the best classical known techniques today. We are already seeing early opportunities in emerging areas like materials discovery, molecule simulations, financial modeling.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Julian and Professor J.I. Hope you can both join us again soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Once again, those were Julian Tan, Business Development Executive of IBM Quantum, representing ASEAN and India, and Jose Ignacio Latorre, Director, Center for Quantum Technologies, Provost's Chair Professor at the Department of Physics, National University of Singapore. For more news, visit sbr.com.sg.